shock news, the world is indeed a lesser place without Xolani Gwala. The world is indeed a lesser place without a veteran broadcast journalist, Xolani Gwala, the South African National Editors Forum Sanef said in a statement on Friday. His brave fight against cancer inspires us and he was courageous. He loved South Africa. We lost a lover of democracy, Sanef Chair Mahlatse Mahlase said. The 44-year-old's family announced his death in the early hours of Friday morning, following a lengthy battle against colon cancer. Xolani had a special pedigree. He was a hard-hitting broadcaster, but respectful to his guests. He always got the answers without being rude. He loved radio, and he believed in its power to hold those in authority accountable, and as a vehicle for South Africans to talk, Mahlase said. She also described Guala as an ultimate gentleman, even when he was off-air. He was the ultimate gentleman, friendly, cared about his colleagues, and he had that infectious laugh that calmed everyone and anchored his success on team success, she added. Guala began his career 2 decades ago at the SABC in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, in the early 90s. He went on to host a current affairs show at SAFM, Johannesburg, his TV show SUPRISE on SABC, and finally went on to Radio 702 to host his talk show. In his early days at the public broadcaster, he served as a freelance bulletin producer-presenter on Radio Zulu Ukhozi FM in the mid-90s in Durban. He soon proved his mettle and was appointed on a permanent team. He was always up for a challenge and had such an engaging personality both on and off air. His popularity with audiences kept increasing as he embraced the opportunities for multi-skilling. Former SABC radio news editor in KwaZulu-Natal, Judy Sanderson, said. Former SABC executive producer and news editor and Sanef founding editor, Mary Papaya, described Guala as a one-of-a-kind journalist. Xolani was a consummate professional and ethical to the core. He was a rare breed of journalist who cared for more than just the story. For him, issues of racial diversity, the transformation of the newsroom and diversity in storytelling language and narrative, and imperatives of human voices were important elements of the news. He was a feisty anchor who held those in power accountable. He was part of a core of young black journalists whom I mentored, and we debated at length on critical matters of transformation and ethical decision-making. As an executive producer and news editor at the SABC in the early 90s as part of the team to transform the news in the SABC, he held us all in leadership accountable, she said. Tributes continued to pour in for Guala. Gauteng Premier David Makhura, on behalf of the Gauteng government, expressed condolences. Makhura said Guala was a passionate journalist who executed his duties without fear or favor. We are deeply saddened by the passing of Mr. Guala and express our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and colleagues. He played an indispensable role as a facilitator of conversation and ensured that those who are occupying positions of responsibility in our country are held accountable. He was a brilliant newsman and an extraordinary human being, he said. Meanwhile, the EF sent its heartfelt and revolutionary condolences to Guala's family and friends. The party commended the broadcaster for being a fair show host who treated his guests with respect even as he asked them tough and critical questions. The ENC also sent its condolences, saying his passing has robbed our country of one of its best sons who dedicated his life to the cause of building a better South Africa. The ENC urges Talk Radio 702 and the media fraternity to ensure that the memory of Xolani does not die. On behalf of President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is currently on his way to Japan for the Rugby World Cup, acting South African President Angie Motshekga said, "We have lost a youthful veteran in an important sector in our country." As a professional who qualified in the mid-1990s, Xolani Gwala carried with him the values of our transition to democracy, the values of listening and being open to views that conflict with or offend your own, and a focus on solutions. We will miss his voice, his insight and his love for our country, but we will remain grateful that he gave a voice to thousands of South Africans who shared their joys and frustrations in life on the many platforms Xolani commanded with excellence.